and welcome to Audrey's World. It's me, I'm your host, it's Audrey. And welcome to my world. You're just living in it. Aren't you just so lucky to be living in this world, to be in this time space continuum? It's so crazy. Guys, just kidding. This is not my world. It'd be so different. This is not even close to it. But, it's a great time to pretend, just dream up your ideal world. A little daydreaming, I don't think hurts anyone. So, if you're into that, you're at the right place. I interview my friends, we talk about our dream worlds, we giggle, we laugh, we reminisce. It's so fun. Who wouldn't love that? So if you're into all of those things, you're in the right place. This week, a hot new bombshell joins the Audrey's World cast. I wish I was watching Love Island, but I see enough content and I've watched it before that I feel like I'm watching it. So, is anyone actually watching Love Island? If so, give me a call. Tell me all the details. Tell me what's happening. I think it's so fun. I just know when I get sucked into a show like that, I am all in. I truly know that I'd be watching like live every night, and I don't think that's good for my brain. I don't think that's good for my soul. I would really get locked in. That'd be the only thing that I know that I talk about, and you know, unfortunately, that's just not a place where I want to be right now. It's a place I would love to go back to at some point, but I think I need a little break from it. So those who are on Love Island, you'll just have to give me the Cliff Notes version, the high level overview, because I want to be a part of the group. I want to be a part of the gang. I want to know what's happening, but I don't know if it would be good for me to actually really be a part of the gang. So help a girl out, help a friend out. This week, the hot new bombshell I was talking about, it's my friend Ben. I think you'll love Ben. I'm eager for you to hear today's episode. We get a little deep. We get a little daydreamy, and we just go through different scenarios, go through different things that could happen and how our lives merge together, how they're different, and just why we're good friends. Opposites attract. I'm not saying Ben and I are opposite, but it's good to have people in your life who are different than you. You know how sometimes best friends are the people who it doesn't logically make sense how you're even friends with them? I think some of the best friendships are that like yin and yang, like a brat and a Barbie. But like seriously, I think you need some of those different people just to like lift you up. There's a core base and similarities somewhere, but the differences are what keep it interesting. And I agree with that. But Ben and I, let's be honest, we're different, but we're the same. So that's why it works. And I think you'll see that throughout this interview. And I'm so excited for you to learn more about him. Probably the only person you'll ever meet from North Dakota, a style icon, a late king, and my friend, it's Ben Lambrecht. How was your Saturday morning, Ben? What have you been up to?
It's been a very casual Saturday morning. I slept in a little bit and then FaceTimed the family, went on a little hot girl walk, and here we are.
Love it. Oh my God. Wait, our day kind of consisted of similar things. I can't sleep in for the life of me, so I was not doing that. Ben, I still wake up during the weekend. I think I woke up at like 5:30 this morning.
No, nope.
So
You've already
stupid.
had a whole day.
Uh, I've had a whole day. Like, what? It's so crazy. I get so annoyed with myself. For all the weddings I've been at too, I just like sneak away early in the morning and just like do my own hot girl walk. Then I do like take two with round two when everyone else is finally awake. But
I I am jealous of that though because I desperately want to be a morning person, and it just no matter how hard I try or how consistent I am at setting my alarm for like 5:45, 6:15, it just my body doesn't like the mornings
yeah,
that early.
yeah, that early is crazy. I don't I don't love this. Like actually, and I know that I am annoying to be around because I'm also the person too. If my eyes are open, I'm like, how did you sleep? Tell me everything. Like, I'm very chatty too when I wake up, and that's not fun.
Yeah, I need a hot minute. But that
Yeah.
reminds me of a sleepover with Colleen at Gretchen's lake house where we shared a bed, and I turn over at like 4 in the morning just because I like randomly woke up. She's wide awake, just looking right at me, and I'm like, oh, it's too early for this.
Really, night night. Go back to bed.
Like, we're barely halfway through the night.
Literally. Honestly, and there is nothing more terrifying than just waking up and someone is staring at
Right.
you.
But if there was somebody that I would want to be doing that, it's either Colleen or some like hot famous person, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah. Colleen is the person who, honestly, that's how I would expect her to be. So
Yeah.
it tracks. It tracks. Ben, you're like the only person I'll probably ever meet from North Dakota. So can you tell me what North Dakota's like?
Yeah. Um, I'm not surprised to get this question. I feel like 98% of people I meet, I'm always the first person from North Dakota that they've ever met, which is always funny to me. But you're one of the few people that your first response wasn't, "Oh, have you seen Fargo the movie?"
Oh,
Appreciate you for that. And there's like, I think the whole state's population is like 750,000 people or
oh,
something, which is
really?
like, yeah,
That's where you all are hiding. There's just not many of you,
there's
so.
just nobody there. Um, but it wasn't, I think it was a good place to grow up. Like I feel like, I made some incredible friends. Like I still have some of my like childhood friends or some of my best friends today. I mean, it was a classic American childhood upbringing, right? Everybody felt safe and convenient to like ride our bikes everywhere and friends just in the other neighborhood. So I think it was a pretty classic, like Midwest upbringing. But what I will say about Fargo is I think it's maybe a little bit cooler or more hip than some people would expect. There's a small tech scene. And by small, I mean there's like a whole Microsoft campus there. It's a very agricultural state. So there's definitely like a ag tech scene there as well, which I think in turn definitely has made the city like cooler than I think most people would expect. And the downtown is kind of booming. Certainly has its own problems of as cities like grow and whatever, but I think it would be cooler than most people expect if they
Yeah.
find themselves there.
I mean, I hear Boise, Idaho is like popping off. Like, people really like Boise. It's really big. It has more nightlife, bars, food than we would ever anticipate. So, I mean, I'm not trying to say you guys are one and the same, but I feel it does that kind of sound similar? Maybe a smaller scale version of something like that?
Maybe a smaller scale, definitely less nature. I think when you think about North Dakota, you get outside of it's very flat, right? Like it's like been run over by a glacier back in the day. So until you get out to Western North Dakota and closer to Montana, they're just flat farmland. So I think in the sense what makes Boise cool is probably its proximity to cool outdoor things. Fargo has less of that. So
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Wow. But I feel like growing up there, you said that it was very picturesque, like riding your bike, things like that. That's how Ohio was too. It was, you knew a ton of the people in your neighborhood, like you were just friendly. Some of that I think was just growing up in the 90s and early 2000s.
so
And like, I think we know a lot more now. So we're changing our ways a little bit. But I don't know, it is so different knowing that's where you and I came from, that sort of vibe, and then,
yeah.
moving to Chicago. Growing up, did you always know you wanted to get out, or was that just something you discovered later on?
No, I think I always like deep down kind of knew. And I think 2 points in response to that. The first one is you bring up an interesting point about growing up in the 90s versus now. And like, does it actually even matter anymore? Like, where you're growing up now? I actually think that like technology has changed the way we live, no matter where we live. Because even when I go back now or I speak to folks who have kids that are growing up now, even in places like Fargo or other smaller cities or smaller towns, It does feel like there's been a vibe shift, and I think that vibe shift is technology has brought us inwards, which is sort of the opposite of what it's intended to do. I don't think necessarily by design or by anything like nefarious. I think it just is it's having a pocket-sized computer that's way smarter than any computer we ever had growing up. Um, I think has changed the way that people interact, even in smaller places where, there used to be block parties or there used to be like a neighborhood barbecue cookout. I just don't see that happening even in those places as much. So I think you're right. It's more of a function of the 90s versus like a function of a small town now.
Hmm.
And then I think to your second question about like, did I always know whether I'd want to leave and move somewhere different? I think I did. Maybe not explicitly, but I've always had a sense of like an adventurous spirit. I think especially compared to some of the other folks that I was maybe immediately surrounded with. And I always got a lot of questions like, oh, why do you want to go out of state for college? Oh, how did you decide to study and stay in Berlin for a little while? And then like, oh my gosh, Chicago, so scary. Why would you ever want to go there? I think I always knew that there's like more and why wouldn't we go see it? And that like sometimes you need a different pot to bloom.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I grew up kind of never loving my hometown. Like, I don't know. It was just never, I never felt so in love with what we were doing, what we
Yeah.
had access, what we didn't have access to, I guess is a better point.
Yeah.
Yeah, like things like that. And I kind of get envious when I hear my friends talk about how much I loved growing up. It was such a great town. Or even if they wouldn't go back to raise their family there now, they still have such great like feelings and memories. And it's not saying that I don't have the great memories or anything, but
Yeah.
I don't know. I never, ever, ever had those feelings of that, even when I was there and growing up. So I don't know. I do think sometimes you just know those things, and whatever kind of spirit you have, you just know it's on to different things than what your environment is.
Yeah, I completely agree. It's funny how that happens.
Yeah, it is really funny how that happens. But you are Tinga's little brother. We love Tinga. But what was it like being her younger sibling?
Yeah, for the record, Tinga is a nickname that we gave my sister Taylor. It's quite funny. Um, I mean, talk about like the best big sister that somebody could ask for, right? Like,
Oh,
uh, she, the joke was always that she was the sword and I was the pen. Like she's just this spitfire, protective older sister that like who wouldn't want that? Like always had the best intentions and the best protective mentality, if you will. I mean, I just like kind of skated through school and everything because everyone was just like, "Oh, Taylor is your older sister," and there was this built-in bodyguard that was just like hilarious. In fact,
yeah.
like she even one time this kid was like being a dick to me and she picked him up by his collar and like slammed him into his locker. And I'm like, talk about the non-traditional brother sister role that is it's
Yeah.
actually hilarious and I'm kind of obsessed with it, thinking back on it.
What a badass.
I
Oh my
know.
God.
Yeah.
Oh, I can so see it, but at the same time, I'm like, Tinka did that in high school? Oh my God.
Yeah. It was wild.
I definitely feel like just meeting her a few times and knowing your relationship, she paved the way. Everyone's like, oh yeah, Ben's Tinga's brother. Like, okay, watch out, or we got it. We got it.
Yeah, so we were a nice balance. I was always the calming, like, are you sure? Like, let's add some rationale logic here. But if you still want to do it, like, go ahead. But maybe just like think a little, and then so we meet in the middle, and it's a great mix for
Yeah.
us.
Yin and yang.
Yeah,
That's how I feel like every conversation I have with my brother, it's like, how are we so different? Like, we are similar to that. Well, we are so opposite, but it somehow comes together and works. But do you like being a younger sibling?
yeah, yeah. Taylor's gonna get mad about this, but I do. I feel like you get away with a little bit more. I think. especially with someone like Taylor, your older sister, who just like really pressed every boundary to see what you could get away with, and like was always ready to like go on an adventure and try new things. I really got to see firsthand like what worked and what didn't, or like what you need to be more sneaky about, and that was absolutely to my advantage. So I think it's great. And like now that we're older, like having somebody like be moving a couple of years ahead of you, and being able to bounce ideas off of, is incredible, right? Our paths we've taken very different paths. She has a whole family now, and just seeing how difficult that is, and like what it takes to navigate that with grace, humility, and of course, like patience. So seeing her become like a parent and an incredible one at that, and then navigating everything else that life throws at a person at the same time, like it's really cool and helpful to see that like play out.
Yeah. That's so cute. You're so
Yeah.
kind to her. Wait, you said that you could get away with a lot more. You understood the boundaries of things. Were you sneaking out? Is that regards to that, or is it like rebelling against your parents in some ways, or
Yeah, I mean, it was mainly sneaking out, like being out later than we should have. Our parents were very um trusting. Lately is like, helicopter parents. Our parents were the opposite of that. Maybe like should have been maybe a touch more involved, but they did treat us like mini adults. Like, here's what we think, and like this is what we would do if we were in your situation, but like it's a decision you got to make. And that even like revolved around curfews. Like we never had a set curfew. So was I out way too late? Like probably way too young. Um, yeah, but I also feel like it did teach us to be many versions of adults, right? And I think that's benefited us long term. But to your point, yeah, she would absolutely push the buttons, and like, like if you're coming in late, like maybe you should try and be like a little bit quiet. You don't need to wake your parents up at 3 a.m., but on accident. It was stuff like that.
That's funny. I love that they treated you like adults. I think people really like baby kids a lot.
Yeah.
And when you're a kid, I like see it through other people where they want to have that autonomy. And I get that we can't give them full responsibility for everything and whatnot, but like they're building their lives too. They're building their opinions, they're building everything. Like, let them try and, yeah, fail and see what
Yeah.
happens. Like, they have to build that confidence for themselves some way. So I love that your parents were doing that for you early on too.
Yeah, I liked it. How does that relate back to like your experience? I know you're an older sibling. You also had like a very cliche Midwest upbringing. Like, does that feel similar to yours, or like was your experience different?
Oh, I love that. Yeah, I think where I grew up, it was very like you knew your neighbors. I was walking across the street, knocking on the door, like,
Yeah.
"Hey, can I play with Haley?" Or which I think is so sweet and cute to have, and like I really cherished that was something that I was able to do. But I think for me, like everything that we wanted to do, I played volleyball. That I drove an hour for that, like
Um,
one way to go to practice and things. So I feel like when I think of home too, I just think of like it did take forever to try to find things, but I absolutely love being an older sister. I mean, the whole team, the whole fam, I'm carrying everyone on my back constantly. Just
and that's why your legs look so good.
hell yeah. But no, I'm definitely like your stereotypical eldest daughter in a lot of ways, which is kind of annoying, but I loved forcing my brother to do the things that I wanted to do. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I loved that. I would force him to dress up, play dress up all the time. And now he's a fashion designer. So like,
So it
no,
worked.
I melded him into this. Like, how did I not?
Yeah, I think it's
But
like when he
no.
makes it real big, you deserve some royalties there.
Yeah, for real. He likes to think that I had no help in any of this, but I mean, I can tell you to who you are, so I did not like him though growing up. Like when he was maybe like under two. He was sitting on the chair that I wanted to sit at, or like he was just doing something that I wanted. I'd push him off of it. Like I did not like him for a long time. So we've come a long way, but now the roles are reversed. I don't know if you've seen that with your sister, but like Anthony always wanted like my attention or like wanted to do what I was doing,
Yeah.
that sort of thing. And now I'm like clawing at him all the time, like, Anthony, what are you doing? Tell me everything. Like, give me 2 minutes of your time. I'm begging for it.
Yeah, that's funny. Yeah, it is. It's funny how dynamics shift as time goes on. I can kind of relate to that. Taylor and I, the other joke was always that everyone always thought I was the older sibling.
Yeah.
And then now that's like totally totally reversed as she's like a whole grown ass adult with a whole family herself. So it's just funny how things like ebb and flow as time goes on.
Yeah, for sure. It is so funny. Oh, so you've mentioned Taylor, she's married. She now has two little ones.
Yeah.
What's it like being an uncle and what's it like seeing her be a mom?
It's honestly the best. Like
Oh,
it's the best of like getting to see them and be around kids and like I adore kids. Especially when they're like your family. But then you get to like hand them back.
you're like,
Um,
I'm done. They're crying. Bye bye.
yeah. And, and look, I think that so they recently had the second one, and we did like a family cabin weekend back in Minnesota. So I got to meet the new baby. And it is crazy to me how takes, it really does take a village. Like one wakes up, diaper change, breakfast. Then at that time, like the next one is waking up, diaper change, breakfast, and then, or bottle rather. And then it's like, okay, you do something for a little bit, and then the first one has to go take a nap. And you're just like constantly moving them throughout the day. And you're like, wow, this is exhausting. Like,
Yeah.
talk about it's crazy that we don't have like more universal parental leave for families to get started because like it's exhausting. I think when you're like related to a newborn in some way, you can't just like send a newborn to daycare to be like taken care of by someone else. Like it's absolutely mind-boggling that we don't have like better infrastructure around this and we expect people to just get lucky and or have a like a caring company that just gives you more leave than others. Like we really are just like telling people to like figure it out, and that seems like a horrible, it seems like a recipe for disaster seeing it play out in real life. Like
Yeah.
it's mind-boggling.
Yeah. And hearing too how other countries, how much time they get off for a newborn. I mean, I have a coworker, I think like 2 years. She got 2 years off so she could
Right.
spend the time, yeah, with her son and everything. And it's crazy. We have nothing even close to that. But what's even more wild is my mom, she got 6 weeks with me, not paid. Like just your own time. Like, bye bye, babes. Good luck. Have a fun month and a half. Like,
Yeah.
what? It's so crazy.
Like we'll try and keep your job for you, but we'll leave your back in 6 months and we don't have to pay you.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's crazy.
Yeah. So sad. We definitely
Yeah.
can do better on that. But
Yeah, and look, I get it. It's hard for companies, like missing talent for an extended period of time. Like it's difficult, but we can do hard things. So like I have full faith that we can figure it out.
yeah.
But yeah, it's wild to see it in action.
Yeah. Can you imagine the better relationships people would have with their, not only with their families, but like with themselves too, and just with each other, and knowing your coworker is getting that full time to just really heal. Like, hell, I feel like you're barely healed if you have a C-section. Like, by the time you go back to
Right.
work and things, all of that, I
It's
can't
wild.
imagine how much healthier and happier our families and each other would
Yeah,
be if we
and
had
you
more
think that people are gonna show back up to work in 6 weeks and not be thinking about being away? Like you think that they're showing up as their best selves back to work? I don't think so. Like it's crazy.
I don't think so, honey. No.
Yeah, not at all.
No.
And
No.
I wouldn't want them to. Like you should be
No.
thinking about that. Yeah. So I think we have some. like reprioritization to think about as a society.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. But you love being an uncle. It's something so cute to see you like show pictures of your family. Like it really brings a different light and like smile to you. Is it, I guess like what's it like? Like tell me about that.
Yeah, it is. So obviously we were just talking about how much work it can be, but it's like cute and fun work. I don't know. It is just different. And the way that my sister describes it is like nothing prepares you for it, but like somehow biologically we're just like wired for this, I think. Or at least some people. It's like I know not everybody wants to have kids or it's not their dream, but seeing my sister like go through it, like absolutely meant to have kids. Like it's crazy just to see like the patience. Like no one's ever described Tinka as patient until like now that she's a mom. It's crazy. But like it is so fun. Like you just feel connected in a different way than when it's like other people's kids, I think. And like the work is just fun. Like for example, seeing how exhausted they all are with two new kids. Okay, great. I'll do like the mornings with the toddler, and even though she's like getting up at 5:40, you would love her. She's getting up at 5:45.
Must
You
stay
would have
her.
like ready to be a chatty Cathy, like the to make my life easier. I'm like, okay, we're gonna share this room. You're gonna like sleep in this crib over here, and I'm gonna be like on the bed, and like she's up throwing her stuffed animals at me, like Unky, it's time to get up, and I'm like, oh my God. But once you're up, it's like fun and fine. We're like doing little like morning routine and in a way that like I just never expected to like
Yeah.
want to do that, but it's cute, it's fun. It's like you're you get to develop a relationship with someone. It's like hard to describe, but it's I've really enjoyed it. It's been a lot of fun.
It's so cute. I feel like it's almost like I've been fantasizing lately, even about like building something here. I never, ever, ever thought I would be saying this, but there are sometimes when it's really nice and I'm walking around Chicago and I see people like building their garden or like cleaning their
Yeah,
yard. I'm like, oh wow, I wish I had that. Like I wish I was building something. I feel like being an uncle or having a kid, it's building your family, it's building that relationship. It's like
yeah.
something about it is so maybe time consuming or exhausting, stressful, never goes how you planned, but
But like rewarding in the same
yeah.
light. Yeah, it is interesting. I'm like pivoting a little bit, but I've been having that exact same thought process in the city. I'm like, this balcony is not enough for me to like a little yard, a little garden. Like, don't get me wrong, I love the city, but I've been having, and maybe it's just like
Is it 30?
it might be 30, you know?
Yeah.
Like yeah, and I've also thought like, okay, both of our work is very digital, right? Like I'm on computers, I'm on multiple screens like all day, and you're moving from like your little screen to your medium screen to like your big, like you're just moving through screens all day. It's crazy. And I have found myself just having like this urge to have like to like use my hands, even though I'm like not that handy really, but like
But
uh,
anything, we're like grabbing at straws, like
yeah. And which is why as I get older, the more and more I love like a cabin weekend, like like getting out of the city, doing a little getaway, um, to be some by some trees, some
yeah.
water. Although we have a lot of water in Chicago, but yeah, just like it is 30 hits different, I think.
It really does. Yeah, it's crazy. And I don't know, I feel like it is innate because both of us are having these feelings, but do you think any of it is like seeing your sister, for example, or seeing your friend start to do that too, and it's just like, wait, I kind of thought I'd be there at all?
Yeah, it's a good question that I haven't thought about a lot, at least in those terms, but uh, I think so. I think it's also a function of uh, growing up the way that I did. Maybe you feel the same way. Um, of like, I love the city, I love the proximity, I love the hustle, love the culture and all that stuff. But like, there is something so peaceful about like space and quiet, and like nature
Yeah.
that feels like a bigger draw as time goes on. I can't explain it, but
It's
it's
so weird. Yeah. Okay, wait, Ben, you are going. I love this show on HBO. So if you have HBO, I'm literally going to force you to watch it. It's 15-minute episodes. Like I feel like a grandma watching these. It's called like Beach Chronicles
okay.
or something like that. And then like Cabin Chronicles. But so it's different types of houses where
Mm,
it's literally just it's a tour of these people's houses. You see the before sometimes, you see the after, you see how they renovated it, but you see different coastlines, you see
yeah.
different like wooded areas. And there's the more and more I watch it, the more and more that I'm like, I want to build that. I need this getaway. Like, I don't, I mean, it's obviously because I'm watching this too, but I'm like, get me when that I don't want to fast forward through life, but like when can I get that? Like when is it my time to have that? Because I'm desperate. I want it. Like, let's get it.
Yeah, I mean, like, do you think that means your time in the city is winding down, or like, is this like an and not or situation?
I mean, ideally it's and.
Yeah,
I've always, always, always wanted a lake house,
yeah,
but
who doesn't?
most lake homes are like in the middle of nowhere, and something about that terrifies me. Like mm-mm,
Yeah,
I don't want that. I can't be that like remote. It
yeah,
truly, I get scared now, like going back home and like driving those like roads where no one's on or anything. Like
yeah.
I used to find it calming and peaceful, and now I'm just kind of terrified. So, if there's some dream world where I can live in Chicago and to have some lake house that's not in some rural ass town, like sign me up. I'm in. Let's do the deal.
All right, let's keep put your Zillow alerts out there, like it's coming.
Oh, oh, for sure it is coming. And you know how that's going to happen, I have absolutely no idea, but I have faith it will. It will work itself out.
There you go. You got,
Would you ever want to have a lake house? Or I know
oh,
you've talked about like
1000%.
wanting
And
to
I'm
spend
like,
your time.
okay, like what sort of like FBI, this is a joke, but like what sort of tax fraud do I have to commit to like make it happen? What side hustles, you know?
Literally.
But yeah,
I
I
love
mean,
the disclaimer to your FBI agent.
yeah,
FBI agent, it's fine.
he's
This
like
is
he's like
haha.
already texting me.
Yeah, literally. Ben is
Actually, a
going.
woman, so.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, no, I mean, look, I'm like a low key huge Minnesota fan because that's like the Minnesota cabin culture is a thing. And jealous is the right word of like my sister and her fam because like they get to go up to the family cabin. It's still like a little bit of a drive, so you got to plan a little bit, but like if they want to do that every other weekend, they can. So I don't know who's to say. That sounds real great, but I think at some point gotta have somewhere to go that's like not flying distance. Because yeah, the city is a lot.
Yeah. Yeah, sometimes we just need a little break, and it's not that you
It's
don't
not that
love
deep.
Chicago,
Yeah,
but
it's not
yeah,
that deep. It's just it is a little peace and quiet, a little trees. It's what
you'll need vacations are good for the soul for
that's
everyone,
right.
so it's
That's
the same
right.
thing. Oh man. So when did you move to Chicago? You've been in Chicago a while.
Yeah, like almost 8 years. 8 years at the end of the summer, I think, which is crazy. Um, yeah, like almost a third of my life, which is it's gone so fast. So clearly I like it, but yeah, it's 8 years went really, really fast.
It is crazy. I'm starting my fifth lease. Like that doesn't even seem right.
It's
Like
crazy.
crazy. Time it goes fast when you're having fun, they say.
It goes
So
fast when you're having fun, whatever like weird time space continuum break happened during the pandemic and whatever happened since then, the timeline we're on is moving fast, baby.
yeah, for real. Unprecedented, as we like to say during COVID. But what are some of your pros and cons? Or what do you love? Maybe what are some of the things you're like,
About
Chicago.
Chicago,
Hmm.
pros, there's a lot of really nice people here. And pro, actually, let me back up. There's a lot of pros because the way that I describe Chicago is it's not the best at anything, but it is the second best at everything. So on balance,
I've never thought of it that way. That's pretty
yeah,
true
like
though.
we're not the
Yeah.
best. Yeah, we're not the
Yeah.
best at anything. Like uh, LA, but way better weather. The people are hotter. Uh, the like the food is healthier. New York's better at like at everything. But like when you start balancing it out, we are the second best at everything. And when you add all that up, it's really difficult to find another city I'd rather live in. So there's a ton of pros. But the biggest pro for me is the lake. Growing up, going to like lakes in Minnesota and stuff, just being by water is so important to me, and so um, that piece is the best.
Yeah, there is something about being by water and it really does do something for you. But
That's
yeah. Yeah, that's so funny. Chicago is like kind of like LA has no city, let's be honest. The downtown is like nothing. Anything that you want to do is not downtown or rarely is downtown. So
yeah,
yeah, Chicago, that would be like second best city. Probably second best food. Maybe I love how you said LA with the hottest people.
yeah,
Maybe Chicago would be like third on
yeah.
that
It's definitely or like fourth. It's definitely like LA, New York, Miami.
list.
Uh, just depends on your flavor, you know.
Yeah.
And then I think Chicago.
Hmm. What are some of the cons that you've been toying with these days?
Harkening back to our conversation earlier about your hometown and like having to drive an hour to get anywhere, like arguably Chicago is just as bad. Like I'm like I can literally whether you're taking public transit, the train, love a train city, but like if there's one little delay, why does it take me an hour to go anywhere? Whether it's Uber, whether it's the train or the bus, I'm over it. I'm like, I can walk that fast. Like I can walk 3 miles as fast as I can take a car or the train. It's being a little bit dramatic, but yeah, that's a con. I
Yeah. When the buses aren't running or whatever, nightmare. Nightmare. No one wants to be a part of that. Yeah,
nope.
it's fair. It's so easy to get like just locked up in my neighborhood too
Yeah.
because everything I need is right here. I literally have shops. I have a grocery store. I have a park. I have a gym. I can bars and restaurants, entertainment. Like I don't have to leave my neighborhood. I feel like for me, I thought I would leave more. And like definitely when I came here, I thought I'd be downtown a lot. No, you will never find me like in the loop, never down there. For me, I wish I ventured out of my neighborhood a little bit more because Chicago is so great. There's so many
Yeah.
great other things to do, and whenever I go somewhere else, I have fun. But sometimes the getting there too part of it is, I think, partially why it's that way as well.
Yeah. And getting home. Mm-mm. Yeah. And I feel like everybody, when they get to the city, like Lakeview is like central where everybody goes, which is great. And there's a reason because it's such a great area. But then people start to like go out and end up in different neighborhoods, which is great because it forces you to like get out. But even looking at our friend group, I'm like, okay, when we all try to get together, it's a whole thing.
It's a thing. It's a thing. It is hard, yeah, because we're separated on different parts of the city. Thankfully, we're only kind of in two neighborhoods, but yeah, it gets crazy because
Yeah.
especially if it's a last minute plan, it's like, oh, who's getting off the couch? Who's really hauling ass? Yeah, I wouldn't phrase this question a weird way, but what
Okay.
neighborhood do you think I should live in? Because people do not think I should live where I live, or they think I have a different vibe than where I
Oh,
live.
interesting. I could see you in like Wicker Park, Logan Square. Um, yeah, I think like good restaurants, good food, good like coffee shops, cute stores, like not chain stores. Um, I can see you there.
That's what everyone says.
Yeah.
Everyone literally says Wicker. You're a Wicker girl. I
And
don't
I
know.
wouldn't hate it because it would make the commute a little bit easier.
It would. See, I wouldn't hate it either, but that we don't have any direct friends in that neighborhood, or I don't have any direct friends in that neighborhood, which would be fine to like force me to like make new friends. But I like my spot, and I like being so close to the lake. I think that would, for me, that's the hardest part about maybe shifting one day to moving on the west side is that
Yeah.
the lake is just harder and harder to get to.
as someone on the west side ish, I completely agree. That's the hardest part.
How do you manage? What do you do?
I mean, you just got to force yourself and then but also like cry a little bit like when you're not there.
Damn,
Yeah, it's not till you get to a bigger city did I really appreciate that like location.
for sure. Yeah. Well, you're also single and 30. So what is dating like for you in Chicago?
You know, my immediate reaction was to say it's the trenches out here. Like it's tough.
No
Uh,
matter what.
I feel like everybody says that, and it can be fun. It can be a lot of work, like right? Like I think like going on dates can feel exhausting sometimes, right? Like it's a lot of planning, it's a lot of logistics with people you don't know that well, really. So I think I totally get that, but I've also been finding it like fun and refreshing to like, meet new people, like even if it doesn't work out, like I think that's fun. I will say like the qualm I have right now is I think especially in the gay community, there's a lot of people who um prefer open relationships, like even before they're in one. So I think that's been a challenge. Like never say never, but that's just like not my vibe right
Yeah.
now. And so I think it is a bit of a deal breaker when it's like the opening like alignment check on that. We're pretty far apart. I think that's been the toughest part and sort of like demoralizing isn't the right way, but it's like a bit exhausting. It's like a lot of sifting, which I can't tell if the dating apps help or hurt that to a certain degree. Like the algorithms can help, you can sort of like filter for that kind of stuff. But I also think it's created a culture for everyone of like just swiping until you find the next best thing. And then, like, do you ever find anything? Who's to say? So
Yeah.
I think those are the two things that can be tough about it right now, but I am having fun with it too.
Yeah. Okay, well, some of your optimism needs to rub off on me. I'm just so, I don't know. I feel like I really, really hate the dating apps. Like, there's
Yeah.
nothing about them, especially right now, that is enticing. It's been a while, and I think that also is then making it like harder for me, maybe to like do or work up the courage to do.
Yeah.
Um, but
Or
yeah,
like I can appreciate that though, because it does go like it does sort of like force you into like, like fits and starts. Like, okay, I'm like ready to get back out there. I've like, had enough space away and then like so I think I understand how it creates that like start, stop, I need a break. This is a lot. Like, so I think that's hard too.
yeah, for sure. I agree. I think that everyone with dating apps, it's really easy to just be like, oh, they're not perfect, or
Yeah.
oh, they have 9 out of 10 boxes, but that 10th, like, what if someone has that? I
Yeah.
think it really creates that, like, what if, or who else is out there sort of vibe that you mentioned, which
100%.
can be really hard. But
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, I can't imagine. I am thankful the straights haven't really veered into open relationships because that is not me. Yeah, that is not something I think I could do. I feel very traditional or like cringy saying that, but I want that monogamous relationship. I want that person to only like want me and like be in a relationship with me.
Yeah.
It might be unrealistic, but like I don't know. I can't imagine not having that.
Yeah, and certainly like to start, like um
Yeah, we could if things change, that's fine. But like to start, yeah, you and me, babe. Yeah. No, it is. Dating is weird. Do you see yourself getting married or like do you want that for you?
I think so. Yeah, when I look forward, it's hard not to imagine that. So yeah, we'll see. Time will tell.
Yeah, time will tell. I think that's another thing, like being 30. It's weird. I know that dating is definitely different for me than you for a lot of reasons, but I mean, 30s are a lot of my friends are married,
Yeah,
starting to have kids. I know that biological clock is like running out. So
yeah,
I feel like it's Yeah, I don't know. There's a lot kind of at play, and I think it would be nice if I could just not have that kind of in the back of my mind right now, but it's
Yeah,
unrealistic. For me.
I think that's a great point that I think it's a completely different conversation for women, right? Like it's I think there's different societal expectations. I think that there's pressure about this like mysterious biological clock that seems to tick for different people at different times, which is great. And so I think both those things combined, I can imagine it feels really easy to like be trying to track a certain timeline when like in reality maybe it doesn't or shouldn't need to exist. You know,
For
I don't know.
sure.
It's
Yeah.
it feels like a whole layer of pressures that I'm glad like I don't have as directly. So I can imagine that feels heavy.
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Well, I'm ignoring it, so it's fine. But
Even better.
you remember it. It's
Yeah.
there. Well, Ben, in his free time these days, has been showing us all of his incredible outfits, been showing us a little bit about his home, his design eye. Ben, have you always loved getting ready and putting together outfits, or is this something that you've discovered about yourself over the years?
No, I have. I've uh, it's always been of interest to me. Like I think the both in my personal life and professional life, um like I like thinking I like evoking like emotions in people on the work side, you know, the content you put out or the words that you're saying as a company or the actions that you're doing, they're it's designed to do that. And I think you have a great responsibility to do it correctly and like ethically. And then I think on the personal side, to your point, I think that the way that you show up and how you dress and to a certain degree like how you take care of yourself and then also the spaces that you are in, all of those things at least to me have such an impact on like your emotional state and well-being and like how creative you feel or how productive you feel. Like I've never been able to be super productive or feel great in a space that like it doesn't feel inspiring or like thoughtful. So yeah, I mean, I think it's always been just something I think about, even if not as consciously, even when I was like younger. I was the type that would like rearrange my room all the time. And
Yeah.
like every couple of years, I'd be like, okay, we're gonna redesign this bitch. So yeah, I think it's always been something that's been interesting to me.
I love that. It
Yeah.
is so true though. I've been one to like neglect my apartment a lot because I only see it as temporary. Like even now, like I said, I'm about to start my fifth lease here and I'm like, it's not forever. Like, girl, you've been here for 5 years. Like, settle in, like make it feel comfortable. Like, I don't know, whatever.
Okay, well,
Um,
that's shocking to hear because your apartment is like gorgeous and cute and really nice. So it doesn't feel like you've ignored
yeah.
it.
I've tried to do better with this apartment, but even still, like I literally went to Target and Home Goods this morning to redecorate so much because I'm just all of a sudden over it. But okay, so you work better in an environment that feels like inspiring, creative. How the hell do you do it in corporate America? Like, how are you productive? How do you do anything? Because that's the
Yeah.
most like unimaginative, uncreative space ever.
Yeah, it's actually it's pretty true. I will say that part can be challenging at times. I will say right now though, well, I think right like it's ebbed and flowed, right? Like the pandemic, everybody was working remote, like you sort of got to be where you wanted to be. That's definitely changed, at least for me right now. I'm back in the office more than ever. It's like things never changed. But thankfully, the office space I'm in now is actually like pretty gorgeous, which is
Good.
thing. Like there definitely was some thought put into it, which is great. So that helps.
Okay, I agree that I think if corporate America offices did not, fluorescent lights need to be banned.
Yeah.
I literally, after like 6 hours in an office space, I'm dead. I'm drained. And
And we're
it's the
all,
light.
it's the light, and we're all, even though we're in the office, like we're all on Zoom calls, and nobody looks good under fluorescent light. And I'm sorry, but like that matters.
Yeah, it does. It does. Yeah. Yeah, I
Yeah, I
feel
hear
like
you. And it wasn't always like that. Like when you look back to the 1950s and 60s and like sort of the rise of corporate America for better or worse, but they were like designed spaces and there were like whole fancy office design companies that like made really cool furniture. Right. One of the most famous ones was like headquartered in Michigan, so right around the corner from us. It wasn't always like that. And I'm almost wondering because I feel like the companies that are trying to get folks back in the office seem to be like focusing on new office spaces, even if it's hoteling or like you don't have your own desk. There does seem to be maybe a little bit of a renaissance. Maybe I'm being too hopeful, but we'll see.
I hope so. Especially we're coming from our couches or we're coming from our homes. Like the
Yeah.
office needs to be a little cozy. It needs
Yeah.
to not just feel like white and static and uncomfortable. I do think people would be more productive and
Yeah.
happier if they went into an office space that even can you imagine if your office space like just changed every year a little bit too, like just a little refresh, like
It's a little. Yeah.
people would be so happy.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I love that for you. And also airplanes. Do you remember like in the 50s
Yeah.
and before too when airplanes were glamorous? Let's
Like,
bring that back. What happened?
yeah. I don't know. Who's to say? Like, I guess like trying to make it more affordable so more people fly, I suppose. But like, yeah, I mean, we got to have some flourishes somewhere. Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah,
Bring back design, bring back cute, bring
bring
back.
back design.
Yeah.
Especially like everybody keeps talking about, oh, you can automate design. You cannot like, clearly we can't because like design's only gotten worse.
Seriously, I think it's my preference, but I am so over the just like white with green and like that's it. Everyone's is kind of the same. I don't know, like bring some color, bring some life, bring some you. I want you to be
Yeah.
felt wherever the space is.
Yeah.
Ugh,
Needless to say, we're over millennial gray
yeah.
as millennials.
Before speaking out, you know it's the time to cut it out. It's gone. It's gone. Well, Ben, do you want to tell everyone where they can find you on Instagram or where to check you out?
Yeah, why not? All of my handles are at Ben Lambrecht. As Audrey said, I'm just trying to be like a slightly more creative and use that as a creative outlet to share little things that feel inspiring to me.
Incredible. Yeah, you get to see his house, his place is great. I mean, for those viewing too, you can see already just the intention, the beauty that's there. So he'll get more of that too in his content, which who doesn't love that?
Well, thanks for the shout, Audrey.
What's Ben's world? What's your dream world like?
My dream world, look, you're gonna get like a little bit of nerdy work me right now, but dream world is we get to a future state where like the energy that we use is more in harmony with nature. And so I think dream world is like a future world where we can run our lives and we can move places and travel and do things in a way that like doesn't kill the planet and by extension ourselves. Like it's so silly that we don't realize that as a larger society.
I love it.
More in harmony with like the world that we inhabit because literally this is a delicate balanced ecosystem and like climate and at the end of the day we're like on a floating rock barreling through space. It's a miracle that this thing sustains life
Yeah.
and we seem to like take complete granted that completely for granted.
Yeah. Yeah, we are just on a floating rock and we're really forcing a lot on Mother Nature. And she's talking back. She's pissed, which honestly, speak up,
100%.
girl. It's valid.
100%.
Yeah. Yeah. Is there anything else that would be in Ben's dream world?
Um, we could probably be a little bit kinder to each other. It feels like by the day, we just also take for granted like that we're all human, we're all imperfect, and guess what? We're not all from the same place, and that's okay. So I think let's return to Mother Nature a little bit and let's have more grace and space for one another.
I love that. Very tender. That falls in line. I mean, a lot of people do just want everyone to be nicer to each other again, to like hold space for each other. Everyone really wants each other to be happy. And happiness, of course, looks like different for everyone, but like, I don't think that's even a part of the equation during these free worlds. It's really just, I want you to be happy. I want you to be nice, and like us to kind of hold hands and sing Kumbaya to some degree.
There we go.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Yeah. This week, my dream world, I do think, especially it's a really nice day out here in Chicago. I think it would be so fab if there was like 1 to 2 hours that a part of every single day where everyone was maybe not forced to like go outside, but was forced just to not be working, doing what you want, like doing something that really brings you joy. I think that would be really cool. And especially on nice days like these, you could get a quick dip in the lake. Like, that would be great. That'd be
So
so fun.
as the kids say these days, go touch grass.
Literally, it would be great to go touch grass, a mandatory touch grass time. Like, I think maybe that would make us nicer.
I think it would.
Yeah, that would be great. I mean, as we were talking about before, I mean, shout out to the moms. Moms need more time off. Moms need more. I know we really love this narrative of like moms do it all. Moms are
Yeah.
superheroes, which they are, but maybe let's not force them to be.
Yeah, and I think to that point, like dads too, like silly that we put dads in a box. I think we can get all ships to rise, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, but it has me thinking 30-hour work weeks. We are working so much more now and we have access to way more. Like, back in the day when corporate America was just starting up, they were drinking in office. It was a social hour, like hours, a social day. Why
Yeah.
can't we, have more of that now? I think if we were more social and had that flexibility, people would be happier. They could have more of that work-life balance, and people would like maybe be nice. So I think that
Yeah.
might be the dream world.
Yeah. I mean, a 4-day work week sounds incredible, especially because when we look at corporate profits versus like worker wages, profits have soared while worker wages have stayed flat. So if everybody just got to like benefit from the productivity that they contributed to on a more like equal basis, or not even like equal basis isn't even the right framing, just what they've earned, maybe we'd get back to that. I don't know.
That'd be so nice. Yeah. All right. Well, we've changed the world. Life is great. What's next on the agenda? What else do we need to conquer?
Now we need to jump in the lake.
Yeah. Unfortunately, obviously that is not our world, and no matter what magic wand I have, it's not going to change that.
Yeah.
So to maybe ease that disappointment, Ben, what is a small win that you've recently had that you want to maybe pat yourself on the back for or celebrate?
I think a small win from like the last quarter, if you will. I've been trying to be more intentional about meeting with friends more regularly and like really working to maintain relationships and like in strengthen relationships by like showing up more. So I'm gonna count that as a win.
No, that is a win. I
Yeah.
love that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good. It can be challenging
Yeah.
sometimes to get out of that routine, especially after work. Like, I know you've been working really hard. Work hasn't been easy. So, getting the like strength and energy to get up isn't easy, but yeah, maintaining those
Yeah.
relationships, like those are people who you can lean on, who you need, who you
Yeah.
love, and you get energy from. So, yeah, that is a win for sure.
Totally.
Oh well. Ben, my small win doesn't even compare. It is so tiny. It is so crazy. Just this morning, I drove through the car wash. I've never gone through a car wash before. Like my
Never?
car is not, I've never been the one driving to like action the car wash. I've been in the car. People have drove my car through the car wash, but I've never done it myself. It truly had spider webs and bugs everywhere in every corner, and I got the deluxe package because it was that gross. So, small win is literally going through the car wash.
I think that's a big win. That's great. Look at you. You
Women
can't.
in STEM, you know?
She can drive, okay?
She drives. She takes care. She's a car girl. She takes care of her car.
I love it.
Oh well, but yeah, so that's the one. That's what we're celebrating. But Ben, thank you so much for taking time out of your schedule to meet with me, to be on the pod.
All right, awesome, Audrey. Thank you for having me. It's my pleasure and can't wait to see you next.
What did you think of Ben? I told you he'd be fun to listen to and hang out with, so I hope you enjoyed the episode as much as me. I'm really still loving hearing what it's like to be a younger sibling, and it was kind of embarrassing for me to admit how mean I was to my brother growing up, but it's the facts, it's the story. It would be, rude if I ignored those facts. I love being an older sister. I don't know if it's the control freak in me or what it is, but love it. Love it. It's challenging. Like I said, sometimes I feel like I got the whole fam on my back, but that's all I know. So I wouldn't change it for anything. But I think it was so fun to hear Ben's perspective on being a little sibling. It's so cute on how kind he was and what he said about his sister, Taylor. I mean, it's so sweet. I love hearing those relationships, and it's been so fun, like I said, to see Ben turn into this uncle. It's something that he really cherishes, and it's really cute to see your friends like mold and change with different dynamics or just as things build and grow as we get older. So that's been really special to see out of you, Ben. I love his dream world too. I mean, he's got a point. Let's get back to Mother Nature. It would be so great to have our world running more efficiently and not so harmful, and like not only for Mother Nature but for us too. I mean, it's a win-win. Why aren't we doing more? Why aren't things different? Why isn't it changed? But who knows? Who knows? That's not for me to decide. Thankfully, I mean, if it were my world, done. Change, magic wand, boop, we got it. But that's just not how it is. So sorry guys, this one we gotta get it figured out another way. We just gotta keep going at whatever pace we're at and doing what we can to help out. So but that was Ben, and that was today's episode. I hope you all really enjoyed listening, and I really appreciate you tuning in. If you like it, guys, you know what to do. Like, rate, review, subscribe, add some stars, comment. Just do what you can. Tell your friends about this podcast. Share links, share podcast episodes, and I'm also on social media. So guys, something that I am doing going forward, comment your dream worlds on my social media. You can write into my email that you can find on my TikTok page, or even comment on the pod what your dream world is, and I'll share your dream world on each episode. I want to hear what could be really fun for you, or what you're really looking forward to, and like what your dream could be. So write in, I'll tell you all about it. It'll be so fun to hear other people's dream worlds too, because as you know, it's one of my favorite questions to ask. It's so fascinating. I want to get to know you all through your dream world. So write in and tell me a little bit about that. Find me on TikTok and Instagram and YouTube at Audrey's World, ODDREY, and I can't wait to hear all about your dream world. So tune in next Tuesday for more, and I'll talk to you then. Love ya. Bye.